Kérlek, várakozz a sorban, 1 perc és jövök.
Please wait in the queue. I'll be back in a minute. Please wait in the queue. I'll be back in a minute.
Nem fogok ilyen sokat dolgozni a jövőben.
I am not going to work so much in the future. I am not going to work so much in the future.
Bár csak hamarabb tudtam volna velük találkozni.
I wish I could have met them earlier. I wish I could have met them earlier.
A szép parkok lehetővé tennék a nyugdíjasok számára, hogy több időt töltsenek a természetben.
Nice parks would enable pensioners to spend more time in nature. Nice parks would enable pensioners to spend more time in nature.
Ez a sushi jobban ízlik, mint a másik.
This sushi tastes better than the other one. This sushi tastes better than the other one.
Az úszás mellett Wyatt lovagló órákat is vesz.
Besides swimming, Wyatt takes riding lessons as well. Besides swimming, Wyatt takes riding lessons as well.
A kutatók rájöttek sok, korábban halálos kimenetelű betegség gyógymódjára.
Researchers have found a cure for many previously fatal diseases. Researchers have found a cure for many previously fatal diseases.
Az indiai étterem a városnak ebben a részében van.
The Indian restaurant is in this part of the town. The Indian restaurant is in this part of the town.
Össze kellene raknunk az új asztalt, amit vettünk.
We should assemble the new table that we bought. We should assemble the new table that we bought.
A csecsemők képtelenek bármit is egyedül csinálni.
Infants are unable to do anything on their own. Infants are unable to do anything on their own.
A tanár újra megcsináltatta velem a házi feladatomat.
The teacher made me do my homework again. The teacher made me do my homework again.
Ha fáradt vagy, kevésbé leszel hatékony a munkahelyeden.
Being tired makes you less productive at work. Being tired makes you less productive at work.
Éppen most néztem egy műsort a kóborkutyákról.
I have just seen a program on stray dogs. I have just seen a program on stray dogs.
A hosszú távú kapcsolatok alapvetően fontosak az embereknek.
Long-lasting relationships are essential for people. Long-lasting relationships are essential for people.
Ez egy egyedülálló előadás volt az olimpiáról.
It was an extraordinary lecture about the Olympics. It was an extraordinary lecture about the Olympics.
Még nem volt lehetőségem bemutatkozni.
I haven't had the opportunity to introduce myself. I haven't had the opportunity to introduce myself.
Daphne felhív téged, amint megérkezik Pretóriából.
Daphne will call you as soon as she arrives from Pretoria. Daphne will call you as soon as she arrives from Pretoria.
A hivatásod meghatározza a gondolkodásmódodat.
Your profession determines your way of thinking. Your profession determines your way of thinking.
A fizikai munka egy kicsit nehezebb, mint az irodai munka.
Manual labor is a bit harder than office work. Manual labor is a bit harder than office work.
A feladatok meglepően könnyűek voltak a diákoknak.
The exercises were surprisingly easy for the pupils. The exercises were surprisingly easy for the pupils.
Garantálni tudom, hogy be lesz fejezve április 12-re.
I can guarantee you that it will be finished by the 12th of April. I can guarantee you that it will be finished by the 12th of April.
Annak a csapatnak több szurkolója van, mint a másiknak.
That team has more supporters than the other one. That team has more supporters than the other one.
Hálásak vagyunk azért, amit tettél értünk.
We are grateful for what you have done for us. We are grateful for what you have done for us.
Csak az esős időjárás aggaszt.
I'm only concerned about the rainy weather. I'm only concerned about the rainy weather.
Ugyanakkor a versenyzőknek van egy sokkal jobb javaslatuk.
However, the contestants have a much better suggestion. However, the contestants have a much better suggestion.
Susan szándékosan kivette a borítékot a fiókból.
Susan deliberately took the envelope out of the drawer. Susan deliberately took the envelope out of the drawer.
Hetente elviszem a gyerekeimet az úszodába.
I take my children to the swimming pool weekly. I take my children to the swimming pool weekly.
Az iPhone-ok használata az egész világon elterjedt.
The usage of iPhones is widespread all over the world. The usage of iPhones is widespread all over the world.
Nem illik valakit a koráról kérdezni.
It is not appropriate to ask about someone's age. It is not appropriate to ask about someone's age.
Ez egy felejthetetlen kosárlabda meccs volt Brisbane-ben.
It was an unforgettable basketball match in Brisbane. It was an unforgettable basketball match in Brisbane.
A hónap végén megyek nyaralni.
I'm going on holiday at the end of the month. I'm going on holiday at the end of the month.
Minden nagyobb városban találsz legalább egy plázát.
You can find at least one shopping mall in every big town. You can find at least one shopping mall in every big town.
Táplálékkiegészítőt kellene szedned az alacsony vasszinted miatt.
You should take nutritional supplements for your low iron levels. You should take nutritional supplements for your low iron levels.
Egy ember életében a pénzügyi függetlenség alapvetően fontos.
Financial independence is essential in a person's life. Financial independence is essential in a person's life.
Hivatalosan bejelentették a királynő lemondását.
They officially announced the Queen's resignation. They officially announced the Queen's resignation.
A sikeres üzletemberek több mint 8 órát dolgoznak egy nap.
Successful businessmen work more than 8 hours a day. Successful businessmen work more than 8 hours a day.
Megvigasztaltuk, miután megbukott a vizsgáján.
We comforted her after she had failed her exam. We comforted her after she had failed her exam.
A stoppolás már nem olyan népszerű.
Hitchhiking is not so popular anymore. Hitchhiking is not so popular anymore.
A kommunikáció a kulcsa egy jó kapcsolatnak.
Communication is the key to a good relationship. Communication is the key to a good relationship.
Azt tanácsolta, hogy egy jobb autóba fektessek be.
She advised me to invest in a better car. She advised me to invest in a better car.
Sok időbe telik, hogy eljussunk a Vatikánba.
It takes us a long time to get to Vatican City. It takes us a long time to get to Vatican City.
Ne felejtsd el megvenni a pezsgőt a búcsúpartira.
Don't forget to buy the champagne for the farewell party. Don't forget to buy the champagne for the farewell party.
Azt hittem, hogy kész lesz 10 órára.
I thought she would be ready by 10 o'clock. I thought she would be ready by 10 o'clock.
Sokat híztak, mert kenyeret ettek.
Eating bread made them gain a lot of weight. Eating bread made them gain a lot of weight.
A rendőrség szerint éjfél körül történt a betörés.
The burglary happened around midnight, according to the police. The burglary happened around midnight, according to the police.
Manchester a második legnagyobb város az Egyesült Királyságban.
Manchester is the second largest city in the United Kingdom. Manchester is the second largest city in the United Kingdom.
A vásárlókat becsapták a hamis reklámok.
The customers were deceived by false advertisement. The customers were deceived by false advertisement.
A netbank használata könnyebbé teszi a mindennapjainkat.
The use of online banking makes our everyday life easier. The use of online banking makes our everyday life easier.
Több fát és virágot ültetnék minden városban.
I would plant more trees and flowers in every town. I would plant more trees and flowers in every town.
Nem tudják eléggé hangsúlyozni a kiegyensúlyozott étrend fontosságát.
They can't emphasize enough the importance of a balanced diet. They can't emphasize enough the importance of a balanced diet.
Nem kaphatsz jó jegyeket, ha csak nem dolgozol meg keményen értük.
You can't get good grades unless you work hard. You can't get good grades unless you work hard.
A diákok elfoglalták délben az egész menzát.
The students occupied the whole canteen at noon. The students occupied the whole canteen at noon.
Sok tizenéves drogozik 18 éves kora előtt.
A lot of teenagers take drugs before the age of 18. A lot of teenagers take drugs before the age of 18.
Alaszkában sok kalandos hely van.
There are plenty of adventurous places in Alaska. There are plenty of adventurous places in Alaska.
Hanna a legeredményesebb a projektvezetők közül.
Hannah is the most productive among the project managers. Hannah is the most productive among the project managers.
Ez a második alkalom, hogy láttam a Louvre-ot.
This is the second time I have seen the Louvre. This is the second time I have seen the Louvre.
A színészek ritkán tudnak elrejtőzni a fotósok elől.
Actors can rarely hide from the photographers. Actors can rarely hide from the photographers.
Kényelmetlen számukra naponta Cleveland és Pittsburgh között ingázni.
It's inconvenient for them to commute daily between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. It's inconvenient for them to commute daily between Cleveland and Pittsburgh.
A mobiltelefonokat ki kellene kapcsolni a tanórák alatt.
Mobile phones should be switched off during lessons. Mobile phones should be switched off during lessons.
Nem mindenki tudná megmászni a Mount Everestet.
Not everybody could climb the Mount Everest. Not everybody could climb the Mount Everest.
A tizenévesek 19 éves korban kezdik egyetemi tanulmányaikat.
Teenagers start their university studies at the age of 19. Teenagers start their university studies at the age of 19.
Az erős szél el fogja fújni a sátrat.
The strong wind is going to blow away the tent. The strong wind is going to blow away the tent.
Egy hatalmas földrengés sújtotta a helyi falvakat.
A tremendous earthquake hit the local villages. A tremendous earthquake hit the local villages.
Sündisznók százai bukkantak fel ebben az erdőben.
Hundreds of hedgehogs have appeared in this forest. Hundreds of hedgehogs have appeared in this forest.
Egy rejtélyes történetről mesélt a gyerekeknek.
He told the children about a mysterious story. He told the children about a mysterious story.
Jens eltökélt, hogy megvalósítja a céljait év végére.
Jens is determined to accomplish his goals by the end of the year. Jens is determined to accomplish his goals by the end of the year.
Az országunk növény- és állatvilágáról tanulni.
Learn about the flora and fauna of our country. Learn about the flora and fauna of our country.
Az inspiráló idézetek segítenek jobban teljesíteni.
Inspirational quotes help me perform better. Inspirational quotes help me perform better.
Véletlenül ráborítottam a kávét a laptopomra.
I have accidentally spilt the coffee on my laptop. I have accidentally spilt the coffee on my laptop.
Az osztályfőnök azt mondta a diákoknak, hogy menjenek be.
The form teacher told the students to go inside. The form teacher told the students to go inside.
Szeretnék egy rövid összefoglalást adni erről a napról.
I would like to give a brief summary about this day. I would like to give a brief summary about this day.
Kiderült, hogy az állatorvos beoltotta a kutyákat.
It turned out that the vet had vaccinated the dogs. It turned out that the vet had vaccinated the dogs.
Dália és Dani 2 kalandos napot töltöttek el a Balatonnál.
Dahlia and Danny spent 2 adventurous days at Lake Balaton. Dahlia and Danny spent 2 adventurous days at Lake Balaton.
Sajnos lekéstük a repülőjáratunkat ma reggel.
Unfortunately, we missed our flight this morning. Unfortunately, we missed our flight this morning.
A távolság Los Angeles és New York között majdnem 3500 kilométer.
The distance between Los Angeles and New York is almost 3,500 kilometers. The distance between Los Angeles and New York is almost 3,500 kilometers.
A képzelőerőd új világot nyithat számodra.
Your imagination can open a new world for you. Your imagination can open a new world for you.
A kedvenc hagyományos magyar ételem a gulyásleves.
My favorite traditional Hungarian meal is goulash. My favorite traditional Hungarian meal is goulash.
A zaj a szomszédságban eléggé zavaró volt.
The noise in the neighborhood was rather disturbing. The noise in the neighborhood was rather disturbing.
Megvettem a hozzávalókat a lazanyához.
I have bought the ingredients for the lasagna. I have bought the ingredients for the lasagna.
A piros szín illik leginkább a személyiségemhez.
The color red matches my personality the best. The color red matches my personality the best.
Együtt tölthetnénk az egész napot.
We could spend the whole day together. We could spend the whole day together.
Az Alpok nyugati oldala egyszerűen lenyűgöző.
The western part of the Alps is simply stunning. The western part of the Alps is simply stunning.
A hegycsúcsok biztosan lélegzetelállítóak télen.
The mountaintops must be breathtaking in winter. The mountaintops must be breathtaking in winter.
Vezettem az autópályán, amikor egy szarvas hirtelen elém ugrott.
I was driving on the highway when a deer suddenly jumped in front of me. I was driving on the highway when a deer suddenly jumped in front of me.
Megéri az időt új tanulási módszerek tanulására szentelni.
It's worth your time trying new learning methods. It's worth your time trying new learning methods.
Könnyű hozzáférést nyújt a dokumentumaidhoz.
It provides easy access to your documents. It provides easy access to your documents.
Egy nyelvtanfolyam segít, hogy felkészülj a nyelvvizsgádra.
A language course helps you prepare for a language exam. A language course helps you prepare for a language exam.
Figyelemre méltó változások vannak a teljesítményében.
There are some remarkable changes in his performance. There are some remarkable changes in his performance.
Izgalmas egy új nyelvet az alapoktól elkezdeni.
It's exciting to learn a new language from scratch. It's exciting to learn a new language from scratch.
A mogyoróvaj majdnem minden amerikai otthonban megtalálható.
Peanut butter can be found in nearly every American home. Peanut butter can be found in nearly every American home.
Három diák késett el az iskolából ma reggel.
3 students were late for school this morning. 3 students were late for school this morning.
A kedvenc rákcsálnivalóm a sült krumpli sajtos mártogatóssal.
My favorite snack is French fries with cheese dip. My favorite snack is French fries with cheese dip.
A gyerekek unják a régi társasjátékokat.
The children are bored with the old board games. The children are bored with the old board games.
Andynek jók a szándékai, de az eredmények nem elegendőek.
Andy's intentions are good, but the results aren't enough. Andy's intentions are good, but the results aren't enough.
A bejelentés mindig a parlamentben történik.
The announcement always takes place in the parliament. The announcement always takes place in the parliament.
A feliratos filmek kiválóak a nyelvtanuláshoz.
Subtitled films are excellent for language learning. Subtitled films are excellent for language learning.
A magyar emberek többnyire szinkronizált filmeket néznek.
Hungarian people mostly watch dubbed films. Hungarian people mostly watch dubbed films.
Hallottad hajnalban a kakas kukorékolását?
Did you hear the crowing of the rooster at dawn? Did you hear the crowing of the rooster at dawn?
Mit tervezel ma este megnézni a tévében?
What are you planning to watch on TV tonight? What are you planning to watch on TV tonight?
Mindig megengedi, hogy használjam az autóját.
He always allows me to use his car. He always allows me to use his car.
A végső eredmény ígéretes.
The final result is promising. The final result is promising.
Az unokahúgom orvosi latéra specializálódott.
My niece specializes in medical Latin. My niece specializes in medical Latin.
A tévé hatással lehet a gyerekek életére.
TV can influence children's lives. TV can influence children's lives.
Sajnálom, hogy nem hívtalak tegnap.
I'm sorry about not calling you yesterday. I'm sorry about not calling you yesterday.
Sajnálom, de nem értek veled egyet.
I'm sorry, but I disagree with you. I'm sorry, but I disagree with you.
A következő történet egy katonáról szól.
The following story is about a soldier. The following story is about a soldier.
Legalább 500 könyv van a könyvespolcomon.
I have at least 500 books on my bookshelf. I have at least 500 books on my bookshelf.
Arthur könyörgött, hogy menjek el vele.
Arthur begged me to go with him. Arthur begged me to go with him.
Most éppen tanulnod kellene.
You should be learning now. You should be learning now.
Erdélyben szálltunk meg a hétvégére.
We stayed in Transylvania for the weekend. We stayed in Transylvania for the weekend.
A mennyasszony és a vőlegény a családtagjaikkal ünnepli az esküvőjüket.
The bride and the bridegroom are celebrating their wedding with their family members. The bride and the bridegroom are celebrating their wedding with their family members.
London tele van izgalmas lehetőségekkel.
London is full of exciting opportunities. London is full of exciting opportunities.
Sarah általában összehasonlítja az árakat.
Sarah usually compares the prices. Sarah usually compares the prices.
Melyik nadrágot válasszam?
Which trousers shall I choose? Which trousers shall I choose?
A dohányzás egyik hátránya.
One of the disadvantages of smoking. One of the disadvantages of smoking.
Ha a föld alattik és a villamosok ingyenesek lennének.
If undergrounds and trams were free. If undergrounds and trams were free.
Szeretnék bocsánatot kérni a gorombaságom miatt.
I would like to apologize for being rude. I would like to apologize for being rude.
Ez egy megfelelő hely a grillezéshez.
This is a proper place for the barbecue. This is a proper place for the barbecue.
A barátommal e-mailen keresztül kommunikálok.
I communicate with my friend via email. I communicate with my friend via email.
Nagyon megbízható riasztónk van.
We have a very reliable alarm system. We have a very reliable alarm system.
Volt elég idejük megszervezni a jótékonysági gálát.
They had enough time to organize the charity gala. They had enough time to organize the charity gala.
Esélyed lesz részt venni a programban.
You will have the chance to participate in the program. You will have the chance to participate in the program.
A történet végén a hős legyőzte a szörnyet.
At the end of the story, the hero defeated the monster. At the end of the story, the hero defeated the monster.
Ezért ő a kedvenc színészem.
That's why he is my favorite actor. That's why he is my favorite actor.
Ez volt az egész meccs legjobb pillanata.
It was the best moment of the whole match. It was the best moment of the whole match.
Ez egy súlyos hiba.
This is a serious mistake. This is a serious mistake.
A Black család nem engedhet meg magának drága hoteleket.
The Blacks cannot afford expensive hotels. The Blacks cannot afford expensive hotels.
Csodálatos volt a kilátás a teraszról.
The view from the balcony was amazing. The view from the balcony was amazing.
Azokat az embereket, akik két nyelvet folyékonyan beszélnek, kétnyelvűnek hívják.
People who speak two languages fluently are called bilingual. People who speak two languages fluently are called bilingual.
Ha minden jól alakul.
If everything goes well. If everything goes well.
Grétának jó humorérzéke van.
Greta has a good sense of humor. Greta has a good sense of humor.
Az én hibám volt, hogy elvesztettem a kocsi kulcsot.
It was my fault that I lost the car key. It was my fault that I lost the car key.
Valaha magas volt a vérnyomásom.
I used to have high blood pressure. I used to have high blood pressure.
Azok a hegycsúcsok Kanadában fönségesek voltak.
Those mountain peaks in Canada were magnificent. Those mountain peaks in Canada were magnificent.
Bárki, aki először megtalálja a dugóhúzót.
Whoever finds the corkscrew first. Whoever finds the corkscrew first.
Nyilvánvaló, hogy...
It's obvious that. It's obvious that.
Őszintén szólva...
To be honest. To be honest.
Beszállni az autóba.
Get into the car. Get into the car.
Óriási sikerélmény.
A huge sense of achievement. A huge sense of achievement.
Bármikor meg tudnak enni egy tábla csokit.
They can eat a bar of chocolate anytime. They can eat a bar of chocolate anytime.
Bíznod kell bennem.
You have to trust me. You have to trust me.
Letenni a távirányítót.
Put down the remote control. Put down the remote control.
Sikerült megtalálniuk az elveszett kutyájukat.
They managed to find their lost dog. They managed to find their lost dog.
A hotelszobák jól felszereltek.
The hotel rooms are well equipped. The hotel rooms are well equipped.
A kormánynak fejlesztenie kellene a turizmust.
The government should improve tourism. The government should improve tourism.
A múlt héten egy jobb stratégiát találtak ki.
They came up with a better strategy last week. They came up with a better strategy last week.
A jó embereknek mindig jó tulajdonságaik vannak.
Good people always have good characteristics. Good people always have good characteristics.
Sokan tapasztalnak kimerülést egy stresszes időszak alatt.
Many people experience fatigue during a stressful time. Many people experience fatigue during a stressful time.
Egyik nagynéném sem él Magyarországon.
Neither of my aunts live in Hungary. Neither of my aunts live in Hungary.
A lovakat pótkocsival szállították.
The horses were transported in a trailer. The horses were transported in a trailer.
Amelia és Carter a 4. emeleten laknak.
Amelia and Carter live on the 4th floor. Amelia and Carter live on the 4th floor.
A leggyakoribb problémákra koncentrálni.
Focus on the most common problems. Focus on the most common problems.
Mi jut eszedbe, amikor ránézel erre a teknősre?
What comes to your mind when you look at this turtle? What comes to your mind when you look at this turtle?
Amennyit csak lehet, kommunikálok majd.
I will communicate as much as possible. I will communicate as much as possible.
Holnap visszafizetem a pénzt.
I'll pay back the money tomorrow. I'll pay back the money tomorrow.
Abban az esetben, ha nem jössz haza időben.
In case you don't come home in time. In case you don't come home in time.
A Buckingham Palota London egyik történelmi jelentőségű épülete.
Buckingham Palace is a historic building in London. Buckingham Palace is a historic building in London.
Mackenzie mindig bekapcsolva hagyja a tévét.
Mackenzie always has the TV on. Mackenzie always has the TV on.
Számos előnye van a kutyatartásnak.
There are several advantages of keeping a dog. There are several advantages of keeping a dog.
Mindenkit érdekelnek az új dolgok.
Everybody is interested in new things. Everybody is interested in new things.
Kérlek, egészítsd ki ezt a mondatot.
Please complete this sentence. Please complete this sentence.
Akár tetszik, akár nem, nincs másik választási lehetőséged.
You have no other alternatives, whether you like it or not. You have no other alternatives, whether you like it or not.
A tanárok több interaktív eszközt szeretnének beszereltetni az osztálytermekbe.
Teachers want to have more interactive technology installed in classrooms. Teachers want to have more interactive technology installed in classrooms.
Hangosan énekeltük a dalszöveget.
We were singing the lyrics loudly. We were singing the lyrics loudly.
Megvan az a képessége, hogy azonnal lenyugtasson egy kutyát.
She has the ability to calm down a dog in an instant. She has the ability to calm down a dog in an instant.
Bruce különösen elfoglalt ezen a héten.
Bruce is especially busy this week. Bruce is especially busy this week.
Rebecca és Jake felfedeztek egy új játszóteret a környéken.
Rebecca and Jake discovered a new playground in the area. Rebecca and Jake discovered a new playground in the area.
Az a cég építőmunkások százait alkalmazza.
That company employs hundreds of construction workers. That company employs hundreds of construction workers.
Az alkoholos italok népszerűek a férfiak és a nők körében is.
Alcoholic beverages are popular among both men and women. Alcoholic beverages are popular among both men and women.
Szintén szeretném megemlíteni.
I would also like to mention. I would also like to mention.
Mindig én hozom meg a saját döntéseimet.
I always make my own decisions. I always make my own decisions.
Harper nem hajlandó bevenni a gyógyszerét.
Harper refuses to take her medicine. Harper refuses to take her medicine.
Kate jól alkalmazkodott a körülményekhez.
Kate adapted well to the circumstances. Kate adapted well to the circumstances.
Tulajdonképpen nem vagyok szomjas.
Actually, I'm not thirsty. Actually, I'm not thirsty.
Négy szem közti beszélgetés.
Face-to-face communication. Face-to-face communication.
Nem akarja megbánni a választását.
She doesn't want to regret her choice. She doesn't want to regret her choice.
Nagyra becsülöm a felajánlásodat, de nem fogadhatom el.
I appreciate your offer, but I can't accept it. I appreciate your offer, but I can't accept it.
A pánikrohamok előfordulhatnak stresszes helyzetekben.
Panic attacks can occur in stressful situations. Panic attacks can occur in stressful situations.
Mindig új ötletekkel jönnek elő.
They always come up with new ideas. They always come up with new ideas.
Kölcsönadhatom a bőröndömet, ha szükséged van rá.
I can lend you my suitcase if you need it. I can lend you my suitcase if you need it.
Például.
For instance. For instance.
Sok új kollégával köthetsz barátságot.
You can make friends with a lot of new colleagues. You can make friends with a lot of new colleagues.
A 21. század elején.
At the beginning of the 21st century. At the beginning of the 21st century.
Az alkoholfüggőség gyakori a fejlődő országokban.
Alcohol addiction is common in developing countries. Alcohol addiction is common in developing countries.
Szeretném kiemelni a szakdolgozatom fő pontjait.
I would like to highlight the main points of my thesis. I would like to highlight the main points of my thesis.
Meg kellene fontolnod alaposan a költségeket.
You should carefully consider the costs. You should carefully consider the costs.
A napelemek fő feladata.
The main function of solar panels. The main function of solar panels.
Ennek a finom répatortának a receptje.
The recipe of this delicious carrot cake. The recipe of this delicious carrot cake.
A vizsgák előtt ritkán vagyunk magabiztosak.
We are rarely confident before exams. We are rarely confident before exams.
Képesek vagyunk a legjobb teljesítményre.
We are capable of the best performance. We are capable of the best performance.
Mindig elajándékozom a régi könyveimet.
I always give away my old books. I always give away my old books.
Megjavítattad már az autódat?
Have you had your car repaired yet? Have you had your car repaired yet?
Tegnap este jött vissza Prágából.
He returned from Prague last night. He returned from Prague last night.
Ez a legfinomabb desszert, amit valaha is ettem.
This is the most delicious dessert I have ever had. This is the most delicious dessert I have ever had.
A szakértők profizmusa lenyűgöző.
The expert's professionalism is impressive. The expert's professionalism is impressive.
Következésképpen.
As a result. As a result.
Senki nem tudja őt ítéletében befolyásolni.
Nobody can influence her in her judgment. Nobody can influence her in her judgment.
A diákoknak gyakran kell információt gyűjteniük különböző témákról.
Students often have to gather information about different topics. Students often have to gather information about different topics.
A spanyol nyelvet anyanyelven beszélők.
The native speakers of the Spanish language. The native speakers of the Spanish language.
A gyerekek feldíszítik a karácsonyfát.
The children are decorating the Christmas tree. The children are decorating the Christmas tree.
Tudsz teljesíteni minden követelményt.
Can you fulfill all the requirements? Can you fulfill all the requirements?
Tavasszal ünnepeljük a húsvétot.
We celebrate Easter in spring. We celebrate Easter in spring.
Egy idős férfi bámult rám a közlekedési lámpánál.
An old man was staring at me at the traffic light. An old man was staring at me at the traffic light.
A 3 kedvenc nyaralási úti célom.
My top 3 holiday destinations. My top 3 holiday destinations.
Hozz egy tucat tojást az élelmiszerboltból.
Bring a dozen eggs from the grocery store. Bring a dozen eggs from the grocery store.
Mi a véleményed a levegőszennyezésről?
What's your opinion about air pollution? What's your opinion about air pollution?
Faji megkülönböztetés az osztályon belül.
Racial discrimination within the classroom. Racial discrimination within the classroom.
A nagypapám mindig megértő ember volt.
My grandpa has always been an understanding person. My grandpa has always been an understanding person.
Alkalmanként rátalálok régi családi képekre.
I occasionally come across old family photos. I occasionally come across old family photos.
A gyártásért felelős.
Responsible for the production. Responsible for the production.
Figyelmeztetned kellett volna róla.
You should have warned me about it. You should have warned me about it.
Olyan nagy hőség volt, hogy bekapcsoltam a klímát.
There was such a heat that I turned on the air conditioner. There was such a heat that I turned on the air conditioner.
A gazdaság sikere sok tényezőtől függ.
The success of an economy depends on many factors. The success of an economy depends on many factors.
Nehéz bevallani a hibáinkat.
It's hard to admit our mistakes. It's hard to admit our mistakes.
Még soha nem hallottam erről a módszerről.
I have never heard of this method. I have never heard of this method.
Amennyire emlékszem.
As far as I can remember. As far as I can remember.
Zsúfoltak voltak az utcák Riminiben.
The streets were crowded in Rimini. The streets were crowded in Rimini.
A film olyan félelmetes volt, hogy hirtelen felsikítottam.
The movie was so scary that I suddenly screamed. The movie was so scary that I suddenly screamed.
Oliver sorban áll a virágboltban.
Oliver is standing in a queue in the flower shop. Oliver is standing in a queue in the flower shop.
Berlin többek között Alexander teréről is híres.
Berlin is famous, among others, for its Alexander Square. Berlin is famous, among others, for its Alexander Square.
Egyetértek azokkal a megfigyelésekkel.
I agree with those observations. I agree with those observations.
Könnyű munkát találni, különösen a nagyvárosokban.
It's easy to find a job, especially in big cities. It's easy to find a job, especially in big cities.
Általában.
In general. In general.
A cél a legjobb eredmények elérése.
The aim is to achieve the best results. The aim is to achieve the best results.
Samuel elfogadta a nagylelkű ajánlatot.
Samuel accepted the generous offer. Samuel accepted the generous offer.
Caden édesanyja jelenleg munkanélküli.
Caden's mother is currently unemployed. Caden's mother is currently unemployed.
A jármű balesetek aránya.
The rate of vehicle accidents. The rate of vehicle accidents.
Ez egy kiváló javaslat.
It is an excellent proposition. It is an excellent proposition.
Brüsszel egy népszerű választás tevékenységek széles választékával.
Brussels is a popular choice with a wide variety of activities. Brussels is a popular choice with a wide variety of activities.
Továbbá van tanítási tapasztalatom.
Furthermore, I have teaching experience. Furthermore, I have teaching experience.
Van még egy kis maradék ennivaló a tegnap esti partiról.
We still have some leftovers from the party last night. We still have some leftovers from the party last night.
Nagyon várom, hogy lássalak.
I am looking forward to seeing you. I am looking forward to seeing you.
Ki kell javítanom ezt a hibát.
I must correct this mistake. I must correct this mistake.
Nem csak a betegeknek, hanem a nővéreknek is tetszik az új bútor.
The new furniture is liked by not only the patients, but the nurses as well. The new furniture is liked by not only the patients, but the nurses as well.
Először nem ismertük fel őket.
We didn't recognize them at first. We didn't recognize them at first.
Nagyon okos és engedelmes gyermekeim vannak.
I have very clever and obedient children. I have very clever and obedient children.
A munkanélküliség jelenleg előtérben van.
Unemployment is in focus right now. Unemployment is in focus right now.
A lányok valószínűleg a pincében vannak.
The girls are probably in the cellar. The girls are probably in the cellar.
Semmi esetre sem bűnös.
He is not guilty by any means. He is not guilty by any means.
A romantikus filmek mindig megsirattatnak.
Romantic films always make me cry. Romantic films always make me cry.
Szeretnék részt venni a programban.
I would like to take part in the program. I would like to take part in the program.
Elviszem a kutyámat sétálni 3-szor egy héten.
I take my dog for a walk 3 times a week. I take my dog for a walk 3 times a week.
A legjelentősebb ember az életedben.
The most significant person in your life. The most significant person in your life.
A fiú megsebesült a balesetben.
The boy has been wounded in the accident. The boy has been wounded in the accident.
Egy teljesen új világ nyílik meg számodra.
An entirely new world opens for you. An entirely new world opens for you.
A sólámpák kiválóak a levegőtisztításra.
Salt lamps are amazing for cleaning the air. Salt lamps are amazing for cleaning the air.
Ezeknek az eseményeknek a jelentősége.
The significance of these events. The significance of these events.
Maya legnagyobb erénye a nagy lelkűsége.
Mia's greatest virtue is her generosity. Mia's greatest virtue is her generosity.
Állandóan nyomás alatt van.
She is constantly under pressure. She is constantly under pressure.
Szokatlan állatokról információt gyűjteni.
Collect information about unusual animals. Collect information about unusual animals.
A családok az asztalok köré gyűlnek.
Families gather around the tables. Families gather around the tables.
Véletlenül kidobtam a képeslapot.
I accidentally threw away the postcard. I accidentally threw away the postcard.
Azzal vádolták, hogy szándékosan betörte az ablakokat.
He was accused of deliberately breaking the windows. He was accused of deliberately breaking the windows.
Akarod, hogy összefoglaljam az előadást?
Do you want me to summarize the lecture? Do you want me to summarize the lecture?
Sok kalandon megy keresztül.
Go through a lot of adventures. Go through a lot of adventures.
Néha követned kell a szabályokat.
Sometimes you must follow the rules. Sometimes you must follow the rules.
Egy nagy palack ásványvíz.
A big bottle of mineral water. A big bottle of mineral water.
A szokásaid formálják az életed.
Your habits shape your life. Your habits shape your life.
Azért írok, hogy a pozícióval kapcsolatban érdeklődjek.
I am writing to inquire about the position. I am writing to inquire about the position.
Máskülönben eltévedhetsz.
Otherwise, you can get lost. Otherwise, you can get lost.
Ez egy nagyon bonyolult ügy.
This is a very complicated issue. This is a very complicated issue.
Az üzemanyag ára egyre magasabb.
The price of petrol is higher and higher. The price of petrol is higher and higher.
Egy motivált munkatársat keresek.
I'm looking for a motivated coworker. I'm looking for a motivated coworker.
Bárhová is ment az anya, a gyerekek követték őt.
Wherever the mother went, the children followed her. Wherever the mother went, the children followed her.
Kuba egy földrajzilag elszigetelt ország.
Cuba is a geographically isolated country. Cuba is a geographically isolated country.
Nincs magántanári tapasztalata.
She doesn't have any tutoring experience. She doesn't have any tutoring experience.
Óriási mennyiségű alma van az ágakon.
There are huge amounts of apples on the branches. There are huge amounts of apples on the branches.
Fegyelmezési problémák az órán.
Discipline problems in class. Discipline problems in class.
Az új termék célja.
The purpose of the new product. The purpose of the new product.
Szükséged van autóbiztosításra, ha van autód.
You need car insurance if you have a car. You need car insurance if you have a car.
A zöld övezetben egy üzletet beindítani.
Launch a business in the green belt. Launch a business in the green belt.
A Garner testvérek mindig aktívak, ha valakinek segítségre van szüksége.
The Garner siblings are always proactive when somebody needs a helping hand. The Garner siblings are always proactive when somebody needs a helping hand.
Technológiai áttörés a mesterséges intelligencia területén.
Technological breakthrough in the field of artificial intelligence. Technological breakthrough in the field of artificial intelligence.
A film végén sírtam.
At the end of the film, I cried. At the end of the film, I cried.
Lefoglalni egy szobát kilátással.
Book a room with a view. Book a room with a view.
Találhatsz ingyenes, letölthető anyagokat.
You can find free, downloadable materials. You can find free, downloadable materials.
Új szavakat tanulni.
Memorize new words. Memorize new words.
Angliában az időjárás nagyon változékony.
The weather in England is very changeable. The weather in England is very changeable.
Nem kellett volna személyes dolgokat elkobozniuk.
They shouldn't have confiscated any personal belongings. They shouldn't have confiscated any personal belongings.
Az alkalmazottak keményen dolgoznak, csak úgy, mint a főnökük.
The employees work hard, just like their boss. The employees work hard, just like their boss.
A koncertek lehetővé teszik, hogy új arcokat ismerj meg.
Concerts allow you to meet new faces. Concerts allow you to meet new faces.
A pörkölt kiváló.
The stew tastes excellent. The stew tastes excellent.
Callahanék babát várnak.
The Callahans are expecting a baby. The Callahans are expecting a baby.
Felelősségteljes emberek.
Responsible people. Responsible people.
Ő a diákok képviselője.
She is the representative of the students. She is the representative of the students.
A tanároknak türelmesnek kell lenniük a diákokkal.
Teachers must be patient with students. Teachers must be patient with students.
Hozzájárul az egészségedhez.
It contributes to your health. It contributes to your health.
El kellene kezdenünk tüzet gyújtani.
We should start lighting a fire. We should start lighting a fire.
Minden hétvégén lemosatják az autójukat.
They have their car washed every weekend. They have their car washed every weekend.
Szeretem kombinálni a lila és a bézs színű ruhákat.
I like to combine purple and beige clothes. I like to combine purple and beige clothes.
Manapság a diákok 2 idegen nyelvet tanulnak.
Nowadays, students learn 2 foreign languages. Nowadays, students learn 2 foreign languages.
A repülés viszonylag olcsó Európán belül.
Flying can be relatively cheap within Europe. Flying can be relatively cheap within Europe.
Az óvónők soha nem szabnak határt a gyerekek fantáziájának.
Kindergarten teachers never set a limit to children's imagination. Kindergarten teachers never set a limit to children's imagination.
Kivételesen jó ennek a bornak a minősége.
The quality of this wine is exceptional. The quality of this wine is exceptional.
Ebben az esetben tudok segíteni.
In this case, I can help you. In this case, I can help you.
A gyerekek azon veszekednek, hogy melyik csatornát nézzék.
The kids are fighting about which channel to watch. The kids are fighting about which channel to watch.
Felvenni az üveget a földről.
Pick up the bottle from the floor. Pick up the bottle from the floor.
A lehető legjobb szolgáltatást nyújtja.
It provides the best possible service. It provides the best possible service.
A számítógépek elvonják a figyelmünket a könyvolvasástól.
Computers distract us from reading books. Computers distract us from reading books.
Fokozatos növekedés volt az eladásokban.
There has been a gradual growth in sales. There has been a gradual growth in sales.
Szükségem van a főnököm beleegyezésére.
I need my boss's consent. I need my boss's consent.
Hasznos ismereteket közlő honlapok segítségével.
With the help of informative websites. With the help of informative websites.
Még ha tudnám is az eredményt.
Even if I knew the outcome. Even if I knew the outcome.
Megéri várni az igazira.
The right one is worth waiting for. The right one is worth waiting for.
A tandíj elijeszti a diákokat.
Tuition fees scare students off. Tuition fees scare students off.
A japán vonatok a világon a leggyorsabbak.
Japanese trains are the fastest in the world. Japanese trains are the fastest in the world.
A ház előző tulajdonosa.
The previous owner of the house. The previous owner of the house.
Nem kell most ezzel az üggyel foglalkoznod.
You don't need to deal with this issue now. You don't need to deal with this issue now.
Ez a falu a vörösborairól híres.
This village is famous for its red wines. This village is famous for its red wines.
Állandóan keresem a kihívásokat az életemben.
I constantly look for challenges in my life. I constantly look for challenges in my life.
Alkalmas gyerekek számára.
Suitable for children. Suitable for children.
Elégedett voltam az eredményekkel.
I was satisfied with the results. I was satisfied with the results.
A nyári szünet júniusban kezdődik.
Summer vacation starts in June. Summer vacation starts in June.
Egy középfokú nyelvvizsga.
An intermediate language exam. An intermediate language exam.
Az elektromos áram elengedhetetlen a mindennapi életünkben.
Electricity is crucial for our everyday life. Electricity is crucial for our everyday life.
Napközben lepihenni.
Take a nap during the day. Take a nap during the day.
David nem jelent meg a próbán.
David didn't show up at the rehearsal. David didn't show up at the rehearsal.
Egy cukrászversenyen részt venni.
Take part in a baking competition. Take part in a baking competition.
Szembesülnünk kell a ténnyel, hogy
We have to face the fact that We have to face the fact that
egész olcsónak hangzik.
It sounds really cheap. It sounds really cheap.
Valahogy elfelejtkeztem erről a kifejezésről.
Somehow, I forgot about this expression. Somehow, I forgot about this expression.
Most inkább hívnék egy taxit.
I would rather call a taxi now. I would rather call a taxi now.
Amy kevesebb, mint egy hónap alatt szerezte meg a jogosítványát.
Amy got her driving license in less than a month. Amy got her driving license in less than a month.
Mindenképpen le kellene fénymásolnunk azokat az oldalakat.
We should definitely photocopy those pages. We should definitely photocopy those pages.
Mit szeretnél, hogy vásároljak a piacról?
What do you want me to buy from the market? What do you want me to buy from the market?
Ez a weboldal több mint 20 különbözőféle indiai fűszert kínál.
This website offers more than 20 different varieties of Indian spices. This website offers more than 20 different varieties of Indian spices.
Szeretnéd, hogy mi legyünk a vendéglátók?
Would you like us to be the hosts? Would you like us to be the hosts?
Minél többet ismétlem az angol szavakat, annál jobban emlékszem rájuk.
The more I revise the English words, the more I remember them. The more I revise the English words, the more I remember them.
Jobban tennénk, ha sietnénk, különben lekéssük a színházi előadást.
We had better hurry, or we will miss the play in the theater. We had better hurry, or we will miss the play in the theater.
Van néhány apróbb hiba ebben a fordításban.
There are some minor mistakes in this translation. There are some minor mistakes in this translation.
Anne mindig mindent fertőtleníteni akar.
Anne always wants to disinfect everything. Anne always wants to disinfect everything.
Véletlenül találkoztam velük munkába menet.
I met them by chance on the way to work. I met them by chance on the way to work.
Kihagytuk a tegnap esti vacsorát, mert egyáltalán nem voltunk éhesek.
We skipped dinner last night because we weren't hungry at all. We skipped dinner last night because we weren't hungry at all.
Nem tudja többé tolerálni a vicceit.
She can't tolerate his jokes anymore. She can't tolerate his jokes anymore.
Be kellene áztatnod a magokat, mielőtt használod őket.
You should soak the seeds before you use them. You should soak the seeds before you use them.
Az európai középiskolákban kötelező egy idegen nyelv tanulása.
Learning a foreign language is compulsory in European secondary schools. Learning a foreign language is compulsory in European secondary schools.
Nem számít, milyen idős vagy, bármikor elkezdhetsz új dolgokat tanulni.
No matter how old you are, you can start to learn new things anytime. No matter how old you are, you can start to learn new things anytime.
Negyven percbe telik reggel elkészülnöm.
It takes me 40 minutes to get ready in the morning. It takes me 40 minutes to get ready in the morning.
Korábban nem gondoltam, hogy ezt egyedül is meg tudom csinálni.
Earlier, I didn't think I could do this alone. Earlier, I didn't think I could do this alone.
Eddig még nem volt lehetőségem kipróbálni az ejtőernyős ugrást.
I haven't had the chance to try parachute jumping yet. I haven't had the chance to try parachute jumping yet.
Támogat téged valaki anyagilag?
Does anybody support you financially? Does anybody support you financially?
Éjjel-nappal tanul a záróvizsgáira.
He is studying day and night for his finals. He is studying day and night for his finals.
Különbözőféle középiskolák vannak az európai országokban.
There are different kinds of secondary schools in European countries. There are different kinds of secondary schools in European countries.
Miért nem akarsz velünk jönni?
Why don't you want to come with us? Why don't you want to come with us?
Szerintem már említettem neked az új munkahelyemet.
I think I have already mentioned my new workplace to you. I think I have already mentioned my new workplace to you.
Nem akarom ma kihagyni az ebédet, mivel nem ettem semmit reggelire.
I don't want to skip lunch today, since I didn't have anything for breakfast. I don't want to skip lunch today, since I didn't have anything for breakfast.
Amikor hazajövök egy külföldi nyaralásról, mindig tele vagyok új ötletekkel.
I'm always full of new ideas after coming home from my holiday abroad. I'm always full of new ideas after coming home from my holiday abroad.
A legfőbb különbség közöttük a humorérzékük. Az egyiknek van, a másiknak nincs.
The main difference between them is their sense of humor. One has it, the other doesn't. The main difference between them is their sense of humor. One has it, the other doesn't.
A kapor tejföllel nagyon jó párosítás.
Dill and sour cream are a very good match. Dill and sour cream are a very good match.
Mentőt kellett hívnunk, mert Trevor nem lélegzett.
We needed to call an ambulance because Trevor was not breathing. We needed to call an ambulance because Trevor was not breathing.
Amikor szép dolgokat látok, néha érzelgős leszek.
Sometimes I become emotional when I see beautiful things. Sometimes I become emotional when I see beautiful things.
Nagy öröm benneteket 10 év után újra látni.
It's a great pleasure to see you again after 10 years. It's a great pleasure to see you again after 10 years.